WWE Roadblock End of the Line just happened. Was there a live stream? No. So instead, we introduce a brand new segment to this channel. Something I like to call How Sic Saw. What's up, Sick Nation? I'm Sick Fritz. Roadblock End of the Line just happened. Sorry, there was no live stream. I had Christmas stuff I had to do. But anyways, so now you get to see a brand new segment on this channel, something we call How Sic Saw. And today we're going to tell you how Sic Saw Roadblock End of the Line. Alright, we're going to kick this thing off with the pre-show, of course, like usual, because if there would have been a live stream, then we would have started with that. Pre-show wasn't much to talk about, like usual. We had Rusev against Big Cass. The whole build-up to this was stupid. Everything they've been doing between Enzo and Lana and just all of it is just, I didn't care for any of it. This was a pretty short match. Rusev knocked Enzo out on the, because they brawled. They took it to the outside, and Rusev ended up knocking out Enzo when he wasn't paying attention. That caused a distraction for Big Cass. He ran over. He's checking on his buddy, you know, and seeing what's up, seeing how he's doing, I guess. And 10 count gets counted. Big Cass gets counted out. Then, what do? We turn right around, and we're going to make the rematch tomorrow night on Raw. So, big whoop-de-doo. We'll see it again tomorrow. Maybe we'll move on. Who knows? Who cares? But we do got new tag champs. Finally, we have new tag team champions on Raw. And it is in the form of Cesaro and Sheamus, who defeated and dethroned the New Day. Even after the New Day tried pulling time after time. They tried playing the numbers game over and over and over, and it just didn't work. They still pushed through. It was a great match. I was glad to see the belts change finally. I've been asking for it. I was hoping that when they finally got their stupid whatever, the record-breaking bull crap out of the way, that we'd finally get the belts off of the New Day onto somebody new, because I'm just saying, the New Day shtick is getting a little tired. It's getting a little old. I've been saying it for a while, so with so many other people. So why don't we change these things? Let's let them chase the belts a little bit, and maybe, just maybe, we can pump a little bit of adrenaline into the New Day. We can put a little bit of something new in there and get them moving forward a little bit better. But it was, like I said, it was a great match. You had the ending was probably the endings to a lot of these matches tonight were some of the better bits of the pay-per-view. In this one particularly, you had Cesaro. He was reaching out for the tag. Sheamus goes in for the tag, and he pulled back, and we're making everybody think like, "Ooh, what happened? What's going on here?" But instead, what he was doing was he was faking out Kofi. Cesaro jumps in the ring, boom, gets Trouble in Paradise, takes the fall as Kofi's going for the pin. Not the legal guy. Here comes Sheamus, boom, roughhouses him right over into a pin. 3 count. Bam! New champs! That's what I'm talking about. You should have seen me. Oh, I saw this I saw it happen. I jumped out my seat. I'm bouncing off the walls. I'm getting yelled at by the wife. That's how bad it got. Next match we had Sami Zayn going against Braun Strowman. He had a 10-minute time limit. It was just try to outlast the clock, I guess. Just all he had to do was survive for 10 minutes with Braun Strowman, and he wins the match. One of the weirdest stipulations I've ever heard of. One of the weirdest matches I could ever think of being put on a show, but it happened. The overall match wasn't too interesting. It was really rather slow and dragging, because all we're doing is watching Sami Zayn get his butt handed to him the whole time. And it just wasn't whatever, you know. And then we lead to a point where, he's so beaten down. He's so battered, so abused by this beast of a man, Braun Strowman, that Mick Foley has to, come out. He comes out. He's got this towel that's tied in a white towel, throw the towel in, right? The old gag. All it reminded me of was Brett versus Owen back in the day, and you had Stu out there. I believe it was Stu. Threw the towel in for Owen, and it was over. That's what it reminded me of, but we changed it up a little bit. Put a little twist on it by having Sami Zayn crawl out on, begging and pleading with Mick Foley to not throw the towel in. Eventually grabbing the towel, throwing it into the audience at about the 2-minute mark. So then he's just got to last 2 more minutes, which he does. He mounts a small comeback. This is where we see all of our bigger spots. We see Braun Strowman go through the barricade. We see him get misstepped a couple times by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn looked like he was getting ready to set up a haluva kick, and time runs out. But nonetheless, Sami Zayn wins that match because he lasted the 10 minutes. Bada bing, bada boom, bada done, right? No, then he shows up on Raw Talk or whatever they want to call their after show, and basically said he wasn't satisfied with that. He wanted another minute or 2 minutes, and he could have beat him, and da-da-da-da-da. So obviously, the friggin' subtitle to this pay-per-view, End of the Line, is not ringing true for this feud. Something tells me we're still going to see Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman continuing to go at it. But overall, the match was just meh. So then we move from one blah match to another blah match. But this one's in the form of Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho. I know I'm probably going to get beat the crap out of down there in the comment section, but that's okay. That's what that comment section is there for you to let out anything you want to say to me, so feel free. But nevertheless, I thought the match was kind of boring. I just wasn't getting into it. The only part that was really worth mentioning, I feel, was the whole Kevin Owens coming out and trying to help Jericho, but accidentally causing a distraction and costing him the match. And of course, this is after, earlier in the night we had seen a backstage segment where Owens bumped into Chris. I think he was looking for Chris, but he bumps into him as he's coming into the building. Tries to make up for what happened on Raw, and them not winning the tag belts by offering a gift. And the gift is a holiday scarf. It was, no offense, really, pretty ugly. Jericho took one look at it, threw it right back at him. He rejected it, right? So then we go into the match, and Kevin Owens had come out, and he interferes. He caused a distraction that cost Jericho to lose. So of course now Jericho's mad again. He storms to the back, yelling at Owens, basically telling him, hey, like I told you not to come out here. I told you to leave me alone. Blah blah blah. The norm. From the past week or so. Then we moved to another backstage segment later on. It wasn't immediately following. It was, I forget which match it came after, but we see Kevin Owens backstage. He's knocking on Jericho's door. He's trying to get in. It's locked. So he does this whole big apology and everything through the door, and then basically ends it by saying, well, I guess we're not best friends or whatever. So we think that they're fully broke up. Blah blah blah. I was feeling really weird, like I didn't understand why we kept following all this that was going on. But it makes a little more sense when we get towards the end of the night. So when we get to that, then maybe we can wrap this all up and try to make some sense of it, right? Now we're going to move on to the next match. Just like I was so intense and so satisfied when I saw the tag team belts change hands. Finally, the cruiserweights are interesting. They've been floundering, these cruiserweights. You created a division and basically you neutered the cruiserweights. Cruiserweights, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I remember, were always high flyers. They were always over the top. It was exciting. That's what got me out of my seat. That's what, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. How are all these guys, they're moving around so fast and blah, 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 blah. Then we fast forward to the cruiserweights of now, and we've neutered them, took away most of their high flying, and have basically reduced them to just lower weight classed in normal wrestlers, normal superstars. Sorry, they weren't. And then you even give them their own show, and you still don't let them do their thing. They're still trying to just do your regular cookie cutter WWE matches. Nevertheless, Rich Swann, your cruiserweight champion, he retained the title in like I said, just a regular run-of-the-mill neutered cruiserweight match. The interesting thing came in the form of after he retained, we saw a returning Neville. Neville's been gone for a little while. He's been on injured reserve list, I believe. So Neville not only returns, but turns heel at the same time. Comes in and just starts whooping the crap out of a former student, which I was unaware of until Michael Cole and them mentioned that on the commentary, that I guess he trained or mentored Swan, whatever. He started beating the crap out of Swan. TJ Perkins tried to help. Neville took him out too. So Neville, full on heel, gonna be part of the cruiserweight division, I would imagine. Put the belt on him because finally I've got something I want to watch, something that I can invest in the cruiserweights. So by all means, book the match, Swan versus friggin' Neville, and book it, set it, let him take the title. Then we move on to what I'm gonna call the co-main event of the night. Possibly, in my opinion, maybe the match of the night. And that's the women's title match. It was the 30-minute Iron Woman. I'm gonna be PC. I'm gonna say Iron Woman match. Where Charlotte was looking to regain the WWE Raw Women's title from the boss, Charlotte Banks. What can I say other than the woman is declared? Woo! Spoiler, sorry, I didn't even get to the review part yet. The match was amazing. I mean, it was nice action from Jump Street. They were on fire right out the gate. So all the way until the 10-minute, 30-second mark. You get the first fall right about that point, goes to Charlotte, and, we reverse it back, and Sasha gets a pinfall, so we're tied up 1-1. Then, pretty close after that, Sasha hits the bank statement, gets her to tap out. That's 2-1. That's 2-1 boss advantage. From 2-1 boss advantage, we go all the way until the last 2 minutes of the match. Sasha gets put in the figure 4. She endures the figure 4 for 2 full minutes straight. And at the last seconds, has to tap out to tie it up 2-2. Then we go into overtime. And in overtime, it just gets even crazier because Charlotte's been working over the knee of Sasha. Sasha eventually starts bleeding. Sasha is made to look super tough, super strong and resourceful, I guess. Just able to take punishment like none other that I've seen in a long, long time. That was my takeaway from the match, was that hats off to Sasha. She is tough. She's got it, Up locking in the figure 8, and boom, tap out. There you go. Brand new champ. Why? Because Charlotte's got to go against Bayley, and we got that whole thing going on. And I'm hoping it's going to be as good as Sasha versus Charlotte has been. I don't like the fact that we've been flip-flopping the belts, because now, for whatever reason, the WWE is so stuck on all their numbers and these stupid figures they want to keep throwing at you. It's Chris Jericho was 140 something pay-per-view, or Charlotte becomes a 4-time women's champion. I mean, okay, she was 4-time women's champion, but it's been in like the past 2 months. It's not. I don't feel it's that important. I don't feel like it's that exciting or that interesting, really, of a figure or a fact. But nevertheless, WWE is hooked on these numbers, so I guess that's why we kept flip-flopping it, was so that both women could have this nice little record in the books that say, that they were both multi-time women champion, and their feud was so tough and so hard, and so they were so equal that it could, at any given night, on any given Sunday, to quote a phrase, it could go either way. It could be either woman's night. And tonight was Charlotte's night. And supposedly this is the end of the line for this feud. It's over and done with. She's going to move on to Bayley. And I don't know where Sasha goes from here. We're going to end up revisiting it. Probably also in a form of a 3-way somewhere down the line. But nevertheless, it was an awesome match. I mean, I was truly invested in it. It kept my attention the whole time. And I was feeling emotion through it, which is really, I'm a snarky kind of guy, I don't like to buy into a lot of stuff. This actually drew me in very far. So, I mean, if you didn't see it, you need to see it. Go search YouTube for it. Go to the WWE Network. Do whatever you got to do. You got to see. That is the match to see. The Iron Woman match between Sasha Banks and Charlotte. Mwah! Beauty. Beautiful. It's main event time. Kevin Owens defending the Universal title against the U.S. champ, Roman Reigns. But only one of those belts were on the line. I thought that was a missed opportunity. You should have put both of them on the line. But I guess then we would have had to double DQ or some sort of, double count out. Something so that each person would keep their title. Instead, we get to wrap this entire story that's been building throughout the entire pay-per-view, which I like because I didn't even notice that it was building until we got to the end of the pay-per-view. The actual match was all right, I guess. There were a lot of slow moments. They kept headlocks and sleeper holds on for way too long, in my opinion. For two guys that we want to see just go ham at each other, you slowed it way down for me. It was way too slow, honestly. And I lost my attention a lot until we got to about midway, the midsection to the end. You got my attention back, and it kept my attention, and it was amazing, and it was awesome. The thing that was nice about it was they really built Kevin Owens to look very strong and very dominant in times, especially on his own. Because that's what we were led to believe, was that he was going into this all by himself. He was going to prove that he could defend the title on his own. He didn't need anybody, didn't want anybody, and this, that, and the other. Outside of the cradle pile driver move that came from Kevin Owens off the middle or top turnbuckle at one point, which was sweet. It was nice looking. All the best stuff, I think, came right at the end. At least story-wise and stuff. Reigns was battling back. You got Kevin Owens, who fell into the corner, after getting speared. He was going to use the belt, and the ref's like, no. And Roman Reigns comes in with the spear, and that so then he makes his way to the corner, and Reigns is still down, and out comes Chris Jericho. And he gets in the ring, and we're not sure who he's kind of looking at both of them like, who do I attack? And you're not sure. Then he finally turns like he's going to attack Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens stumbles to his feet, and he turns around and he hits Kevin Owens with a code breaker. Bam! Sends him back into the corner, and ref jumps out of the ring, says, boom, the disqualification since Kevin Owens was the one that got hit. Boom, it gets put in his favor. He retains the title, which I don't recall there being like any stipulation where if either man got DQ'd, it doesn't matter. A DQ is a DQ, and the champion would retain. So that part didn't make no sense as to why they were making a big deal about that. Any disqualification would have worked. But he got code breakered, and then so the match was over, and then you see Jericho he hands Kevin Owens the title as he's helping him up. They hug, they embrace, they make up. They're back together, the best friends, right? Hey, yeah. They try to head back up the entry ramp, but they're cut off by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, the man, comes out, pushes them back towards the ringside area, where Kevin Owens gets speared, gets taken out by Roman Reigns, and then Chris Jericho is double teamed by Rollins and Reigns in a reunion of a 2/3 reunion of the Shield, who do the power bomb straight through the announce table that's ringside. And then at this point, Kevin Owens is back to his feet. He's trying to make his way back up the entry ramp. Seth Rollins takes off after him, cuts him off just before he can get to the back. And then they put him through the ramp side announce table. So both members of Jericho are both laid out, but they're back together, I think. They're laid out. We got Reigns and Rollins. They're headed off to the back, and that's how we ended. Very entertaining pay-per-view. Yes, there were some dull moments. There always are going to be downsides. There's always going to be dull moments. But you got to look at the good parts. We got new tag champs. We got interesting things going on in the cruiserweight spots. We got an amazing women's title match. For those of you that were waiting for it or wanted it or been craving it and needed your Shield fix, you got that little bit. And that's Roadblock. End of the line, in a nutshell. All put together in a little package, delivered to us through the WWE Network. We watched it. We took it in. I don't know, maybe you enjoyed it, maybe you didn't. Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button. It kind of helps me out. If you want to see more stuff from me or things that come to this channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and you'll be notified, all that other good stuff. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget, you can comment down here. Let me know what you want to see on this channel. Did you like this segment? Did you like this show? Do you want me to do more of this? Because if you liked it and you want to see more of it, maybe I'll start doing these sort of reviews after each pay-per-view. We'll do the live stream. You can hang out with me. Or you could check out the quick little review and get all the little tidbits of what happened in a little nutshell. I'm Sic Fritz. This is the Sic Fritz channel. And that is how Sic Saw. Roadblock. End of the line.